And the understanding of these elements, which have been around since ancient times, and the way that they work, it's spoken and described in a language of symbolism.
Yes, but I'll go back a little bit. It's like Schussler was the one that was originating the supposedly the process of the mineral salts, the 12 mineral salts. And he took some material off a German scientist before him, and they were saying this is the beginning. Now, as we go further forward,
as if they had discovered it.
Yes,
but Schussler didn't discover it.
Well, I don't believe so, because when you get hold of the books of George Washington Carey that wrote these late 1800s, early 1900s, that wrote the books that we've got up there, he's got into an ancient library.
Oh, interesting.
And there's so much stuff there that comes through, and that's why I say it's a science book.
Yeah,
it's not written in classical science terms in regards to, I go to university and they say this, this, and this. But if you read it carefully and understand a bit of Latin, and you can start breaking down, going, oh, they're talking about this over here. And that's connected to that over there. And then you start to see things around the farm and the results of what's going on. And certainly this here, to me, what a wake-up call for me. We had already discovered the electricity in the soil.
Yeah.
And there were certain questions that I'm going, I don't know how this works. Because the likes of sulfur, nitrogen, phosphorus, they're anions. You can't move an anion through an electrical current. But you can use calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, all of these. They are moved through electrolysis. And there's certain states of these minerals and how fast they go, and potassium's the top and it gets right down. Aluminium's one of them as well. Mm-hmm. Interesting thing in just seawater. It drops out and then zinc takes its place. So we'll talk about that in another podcast. But so what we found, what I really finally clicked on, was that the single cell organisms that we're so keen to see in the farm, those cyanobacteria, they can create these tissue salts from the basic raw materials. So they take the phosphorus and they'll connect it with the calcium. So we get calcium phosphate. So that's the structure, okay? Mm-hmm. And so when you look through it, then it takes potassium, makes potassium phosphate, which is the spark, Aries, the brain, okay, the higher mind. And you need lots of this for the brain to work. You know, if you're really feeling down and droopy, it's likely that your brain's starting to fizz out.
Yeah, I know that feeling, actually.
Yeah. Well, and also, quite often people get a bit of arrhythmia in their hearts and that, and they think, oh, shit, I've got to get a pacemaker. I said, before you even start that, go and get some Carly Foss. You just might be completely run down. And it's like putting a new distributor cap on the old car, and all of a sudden, the electricity's working again. Everything's functioning. I've seen so many people do that and actually go, wow. And so, and some of the things, it's been, the actual natural system is being replaced by something else. So they've looked at the symptom instead of the cause. So I'm always looking at the cause. Take the symptom to lead you to the cause.
Let me dive into some of the things here on screen. We've got healthy soil equals conductive soil. You covered that off pretty good.
Yeah.
We've also got dead soil equals mineral lockup.
That's right. Totally. So this is where the woo-woo part of science, all those people that play with bugs and fungi and all this sort of stuff, it's really important, especially if you want to make money out of this.
Yeah.
Because they work for nothing.
Yeah, you're only dealing with half of that, of the equation if you're not actually dealing with the bugs and the fungi, right?
Totally. Yeah. So you go out there and you put fertilizer on, you call it fertilizer, you put minerals on, which are in a soluble form, so that the plant can take the mineral up into the plant through a soluble form, not an electrical form. Mm-hmm. Well, if it stops raining, that's not very good.
Yeah, true.
It doesn't go up.
Yeah, you're screwed.
Yeah. And as I've pointed out many a time, you look at a redwood tree, 300 feet high. Is there a gnome at the bottom of the tree pumping the water pump with the push the tree?
No. If I've learned anything, there's no gnomes.
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Maybe some gnomes.
Yeah.
No offense to our gnome listeners. Please like and subscribe.
Well, it's, they've been eating plenty of those muscaria mushrooms.
Yes.
It runs with the read on.
Very, very happy.
This does not putting on nutrients like that, they need to be converted. And the biology are the best ones to convert it into the salt so you can take it into the cell. Yes.
And that's why we've got fertilizer does not equal mineral intelligence.
No, but the intelligence needs to come with how you look at the picture and go, that's short. If I add that, the biology will pick this up and convert this to this and convert that to that, and then things will function correctly.
Yeah.
So there's real systems in this whole scenario. Like we're really hot in silica.
Yeah.
And it brings structure. It also creates electricity. It's also called the surgeon's scalpel.
Mm.
And so within the cell, it's the cleaner. So they will never have smooth silica. Like they're always got a pointy edge on the process.
Okay.
So it goes around the blood or around the cell and it cuts. It's like little wee tiny cuts, cleans everything up, right? And then calcium sulfate, which is gibboard, plasterboard. It comes around and picks it up and takes it to the liver, okay? Now, as part of that, on a bigger picture, if you look at our stomach lining, if you have problems with your gut and everything, well, you probably haven't got enough calcium sulfate because that's what lines the gut, just like in your house. And it creates a semi-permeable membrane that the food goes in one way and out, So we have these systems in us that are replicated in these buildings and houses,
Yeah.
Okay, so we look at this process, we need lots of phosphorus. Well, how does the phosphorus make the cell wall? Yes, we need the phosphorus for all these different phosphorus salts, and there's 5 of them, and they all have a function, and we'll go through them again at the end.
Is this what mineral organization is?
Absolutely.
Okay. What role do microbes play in mineral organization?
Well, that's the critical point, Stephen, is that the microbes, if you've got functioning microbes, specifically cyanobacteria to start with, and then the following digestion process in the soil, the worms and everything else, you get mineral organization. So they take the raw minerals, take them and convert them, and then lay them down inside the humus, ready to be uptaken by the plants. And it's a really it's not a simple thing. It's an intelligence. Look at this. How many phone lines or internet connections have you got? And all these things go.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's like, yes, no, I don't want this. Yes, I need that. This is not a.
Yeah, it's kind of the soil internet, isn't it?
It is.
Of communication.
Totally.
The question I had also was, what happens when soil loses biology but keeps fertilizer? Is that back to what we're seeing there on the screen where it locks up?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is the thing is like if you don't, this is what we go and look at the soil test video. If you go back to that and you see all this minerals in the total mineral test.
Yeah.
And yet you go in to look in the available test and there's less than half of them. Like there's negligible about what's in the available form. Well, neglect these guys and you're in trouble.
Absolutely. If you forget them, you're in trouble. Let's look at the next screen. Oh, yeah. Plants conduct and store minerals. Now, I kind of had this backwards earlier. I was like, no, they store minerals and conduct them or something. So just lay it out for me, the order of things here.
I'll go back to and what I've done in the book in regards to a poplar tree. Okay. We've got 2 different types of poplars about 200 metres from the house, one on the neighbour's place, one on ours. And it's about 10 days before the leaves or the first bud you see on the tree, you'll see the electrical charge start going from the ground up into the tree.
Wow.
It's like you can go out there and you can put the probe in the ground. And so when the tree turns on and says it's spring, then the electrical current moves. Okay. And so then what's that's doing, it's bringing moisture and nutrition, and it's on an equal and opposite reaction because up in the tree takes in carbon dioxide to photosynthesize, and it creates a negative charge in the plant. And you have a positive electrical charge picking up these cell salts and taking it into the tree.
Okay.
And so the signaling up and down the tree, if everything's in the right order, is saying, yo, bro, send me some Carlifos. Give me a bit of Magphos. I'm feeling a bit stressed here these days. It's the signal's going up and down this process all the time. And if you don't think so, you're it's really easy to find out. Take a voltmeter, dunk in the ground. And the opposite happens too.
Okay, so in summary, what you're saying is gnomes are doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I was listening, folks. I was. But that's cool because you just answered my next question, which is how they move minerals internally. Which is cool.
It's an electrical process. And this is not hard to see. Like a cheap voltmeter set to DC current to 3 decimal points, and you can start mucking around with it. Now, this other set of poplars we've got, they don't go for about 3 or 4 weeks after.
Really?
Yeah, and you'll go over there and this.
Oh, okay. So what's electrically different for them to be tuned into 4 weeks later?
Well, their species or whatever it is. I don't actually know what the switcher is, but
Sure.
but they don't turn on for 3 weeks later. Like you'll be going out there, and this tree will be actually starting to get decent buds and leaf and everything like that.
I suppose it reaches the appropriate threshold when the electrical environment's better for that model of plant.
Absolutely.
That species.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, in the autumn, it doesn't switch off for another month when the other one's shut down.
Huh.
So that's crazy, eh? It's like, but this is the ebbs and flows of nature. And you can check this out on any of the deciduous trees. The first ones that actually bud up, the wild cherries. Get out there and, there's power going up there.
No, I did have another question for you on this. Can a plant look healthy but be functionally deficient?
Yeah, they can look, like you can make a plant look reasonably healthy. But
Because this is where people go, my farm is fine. Look at it. I don't need this stuff. Looks healthy.
Yes, but if you're getting symptoms of something going wrong, so if you get grass grub, weevil,
aphids,
all of those things. If you've got something coming in and attacking it, okay, it might look good, but there's symptomology is telling you that it's not complete.
Yeah. Keen to dive deeper? Check out our audiobook and Eco Farmer's Discovery on Spotify, or grab our free ebook, The 6 Things You Need to Improve Soil and Farm Profit. Links in the description.